stuff getting punched in the gut. I wanted to laugh and then eventually just started breaking down in tears. And I got hit by such a spiritual reckoning, and I really do feel like it's still very fresh, quite frankly. Even within like 40 minutes, I found myself crying again. And this is this Jupiter square Saturn. We're going to collectively be facing something very tough, very difficult very soon. This is Mars square Uranus. We're going to collectively be facing something very tough very soon, but it's going to hit us in a very personal level. What's up, tacos? And there's this theme right now with Jupiter and Cancer where the ancestry, the emotional identity that we're going through, the family, the roots, the pride is meeting this expansion right now. And it's in contrast with Saturn and Aries, where, you know, we're feeling at an individual level restricted through tests, through our individual will, through our identity, through our ego, all right, through our actions that we take, especially when it comes to how we're being seen. And I felt like today was one of these days where it's like, oh man, like, you know, my partner in crime couldn't see a part of me today, and it hurt. And when I say a part of me, I mean a part of me as a black man. And these racial tensions that are going to be fueled. And, you know, mind you, I live in Mexico. I've been around Latinos my whole life. And I came across this understanding that, like, wow, like, you know, there's a certain way that Latinos can easily identify as white. And it's a tough understanding. It's a tough reality, but I'm going to help break this down today. There's this racial dissonance that I've been seeing occurring and happening. And when I think about English and Spanish being like 90-80% of the world's language, right? It's this thing where, like, the divide of Latinos, they carry so much. You look at the Americas, Mexico, Venezuela, Colombia, right? The Latinos, the people who have been so closely indigenous are able to shift inside into the white privilege in moments where it gets a softer reaction from other people. They have an easier day-to-day interaction, and they can kind of choose this through something considered adjacent whiteness. And, you know, I had this conversation today with my wife, and it's tough because she can and she does identify in some ways as white, even as a Mexican. And it was, you know, over the years that we've been together, there's this thing where I was like, wait, like what? Like, when I first met her, I thought you was Mexican, right? Like, I thought you was like indigenous to the land. And it's one of these things where I understand very clearly, and I stayed up front, like, she's not malicious in any way, shape, or form. Like, you know, it's not that simple. But what I have to realize is there's a certain racial dissonance within intimate relationships because of whiteness, because of adjacent whiteness, where conditions that people experience, they're able to essentially bypass discomfort in certain instances, and it becomes a coping mechanism. And I see this in many interracial relationships. Like, how do we distance ourselves as a coping mechanism, choosing ignorance in certain situations and instances because it feels safer, okay, than safer to be able to walk within that privilege, if you will. And so it's a tough one. When we talk Jupiter, we're talking about divine justice, we're talking about interracial, international justice, right? We're talking Mars and Leo in the picture, we're talking relationships, okay? We're talking self-worth with Uranus and Taurus in the picture. We're talking individuality, me as an Aries myself. And there's this painful ass realization this morning. Like I said, I got punched in the gut. I found myself crying twice today within an hour, and walking and then dancing in the street while walking, and then like feeling liberated and feeling like I got this new mission that is also awakening at the same time. You know, this spiritual invocation within my soul through the painful realization that even the oppressed, being the Latinos, okay, being the indigenous descended cultures, can participate in the oppression, can maintain systemic racism, whether they are conscious of it or not. And this oppression comes when we are seeking proximity to whiteness, even if it is, and especially when it is still unconscious. But I feel like, you know, when I look about black people, so many of us are like sick and tired of like having this conversation and just want to give up in certain ways and feel like there's nothing to necessarily defend. And I do agree, there's nothing that we need to defend. However, you know, if you are American growing up, if you're somebody growing up in the United States, for example, it's like we are grown in a polarized, you know, petri dish where we do have the segregations, and we're taught it in our education system through upbringing, and many other cultures are not taught segregation in the same way, but they maintain the segregation in a completely different way. So we have to understand that, you know, seeking the proximity to whiteness, this is things that people experience, like Michael Jackson. I feel like, you know, Michael Jackson want to bleach his skin, or, you know, I go to Asians want to bleach their skin, or you're in the black community and the light skins are considered the pretty ones, right? The light skins are considered the beautiful ones. They're considered the ones that have more grace, they have more social politeness. The black ones are considered ugly. They're considered people you need to walk away from, right? Or you don't want to date, or something innately ugly about them. And it's like, at the end of the day, the black is bear, the sweet of the Jews, right? Black is beautiful. We know this at a deep core level, but we've been programmed in a way that we got to wake up. And this Jupiter in Cancer, culturally speaking, is going to help to liberate us. Thank you for those thumbs up. I see y'all. And so, you know, this thing is this proximity to white is called horizontal opposition. When marginalized communities turn on each other instead of the system itself. And this is Saturn and Aries, okay? Saturn and Aries is the one like, yo, I'm the big bad wolf. And I did find myself feeling this violent energy after this altercation as I'm walking, you know, in the streets by myself, not around nobody I'm talking about. I just felt this violent energy, and I was like, damn, like I feel violent right now. I feel like I just want to like knock somebody's head off. Like, and at the end of the day, what did I say? I want to knock somebody's head off. The head representing Aries, representing the identity, representing the head of the system, of those marginalized communities that turn on each other, want to knock that system right off his head. So when I was younger, these violent tendencies, I didn't necessarily understand. Like, I wasn't really feeling violent towards another person. I just don't like certain modalities of the way we operate within society, certain, you know, systemized forms of oppression. So we have to look at something like, you know, the betrayal that we go through in a situation like this, when someone you love stays silent or stays neutral. And I felt like this a little bit today, understanding and defining betrayal by subjective feelings. Betrayal by my subjective feelings is, you know, me and my partner, we stand together through any and everything. And so when that expectation is not met, it feels like the betrayal, where, yeah, we're still standing through with each other through this particular moment as an interracial couple. I have no doubt within my heart about that. But the betrayal was the expectation of like, damn, like, it's this realization more so that, yo, there is this fundamental gap, regardless, within our connection, that it doesn't help to just ignore it. So when I look at it, it's like, you know, when you're in love with somebody, you know, staying silent, staying neutral can feel like a rejection of your lived experience. And in some capacity, for me, it feels like a rejection of my lived experience, you know, my soul's history, specifically as a black man, where, you know, especially when you look at the moment where, you know, this all started with me looking at a video. I'm watching a video and I'm seeing Latinos speak up about what is their role in oppression, how they have chose whiteness or horizontal oppression because it's comfortable in certain situations, because they can get jobs, they can get higher pay raises, you know, they get certain opportunities that, you know, a darker Mexican or a darker Latino or indigenous looking may not get that, right? And so when I look at it, it's like, wow, like, you know, you may feel this rejection energy that happening on these transits of Jupiter square Saturn, okay, collective energies, not personal. But Mars, which is a personal planet, square Uranus, another collective. So there's a personal role that is going to be overrun by 3 planets that are, you know, collective in nature. When you open up the door to a deeper healing conversation and it doesn't, you know, it falls on silent, it falls on neutral, this may be painful. So when I look at it, you know, today I look at this live where my role in this particular awakening is to come on here, even through the pain that I'm experiencing. You know, you may feel it in my voice, you may feel it in my gut. Like, it's a painful situation for me, to be honest, right? But to be the bridge, to mean that, you know, I don't necessarily need to bleed for both sides yet. And however, I feel like Jupiter in Cancer right now is calling me to remember, to reclaim, okay, these ancestral wisdoms, these emotional truths, to speak these hard truths right here live to you right now. Even when it breaks the illusion of harmony, even if that's with my partner herself, where it's like, you know, I understand this conversation breaks the illusion of harmony to some capacity. And so when I look further, you know, it's right now, I feel like I'm here right now in this message to be the bridge of disruption, the disruption of the generational silence that, you know, in our own way, in my own way, you know, I have to continue to work through this as an individual, Aries, Saturn Aries, through ritual, through voice. Now, on the other side, as a shaman, through storytelling, transmuting the pain, transmuting the situation, the moment, through conversation. And that's where I look at Jupiter as the wise one who tells stories through Cancer, right? In a kind and compassionate way. Ooh, big horse pills of awareness moment. And I look at Saturn in awareness. Saturn in awareness. Saturn's in awareness. And Aries, a fire sign, is in awareness. When I look at Saturn and Aries, it's about setting these racial responsibilities. Taking on these racial responsibilities for how I, as an individual, Aries, embody my own identity, for learning and being powerfully courageous to set the boundaries around the emotional labors, okay, that I or others cannot face for me, okay? They cannot do for me. This is a situation where it's like, you know, I'm in an interracial relationship, right? Like, I'm in an interracial relationship. You can't face that for me. So there's certain boundaries that need to be set for the emotional labor that that can or cannot be done for others, but needs to be happening for myself. Where I take the time to actually define like how to lead as a Black healer, how to lead as a partner, being a Black man, how to lead as a teacher, right? In a world that still continues and refuses to see the full depth of our magic as Black melanated beings, okay? But even myself as an individual, the full depth of my own personal magic. And I've experienced this as a Black traveler. For the last 9 years, I left the United States, and I've experienced this in every culture. So this is not individual to just Latinos. It's just my personal situation right now. So when I look at the deeper message, you know, I feel like it's important, you know, through these next days, through these next moments, through these next tears, through these next gutful, painful, you know, realities I'm experiencing right now, to understand that it's not about right or wrong, right? But to realize my real life situation of, okay, with that Latinos, especially white leaning, white, this word I'm getting all, I'm like, I'm in it. Y'all tell me I haven't fully processed everything, but I couldn't stay quiet right now. Like, I just couldn't do it. So bear with me, y'all. And especially with white leaning Latinos, there's a collective deconstruction that is underway, and that will happen slow, fast. I don't think the tempo matters so much when it comes to the deconstruction of their identity, of their how they perform within their identity, you know, when it's what it takes to stand in true solidarity with Black people as a Latino, as an indigenous Latino, how to stand in true solidarity with Black people, understanding that, you know, we are all one and the same. You know, when I first came to Mexico, I looked at Mexicans as a part of me. I never saw them as white people. I never understood that white Mexicans identify as white people. I didn't even understand that Spaniards identified as white people. I didn't realize that when I went to Spain. I was like, yo, Spain is a white ass place, but I still didn't think of them as white. I just thought they were Spaniards. My own ignorance at the time, thinking Spaniards are people from Spain are Spaniards, not that they're white. And so, but through traveling, through getting out, through experiencing the world, we start realizing, like, you know, this, if you're an American listening to this right now, for example, like, you really have to travel, you really have to get out, because it's not as simple as Black versus white. This is a very, very big thing. Like, you know, within the Latino community, we're talking cafe, a shade of brown. We're talking moreno, a shade of brown, right? We're talking Afro, a different shade of brown. So these are 3 different shades of brown or Black that, you know, comes where they say things like, you know, I don't see color. We have to understand that that statement within itself is a part of what is maintaining systemic racism. We have to realize it. We have to accept this. If you're somebody who feels like they're ahead of the curve, we can't come on here and just be violent. We can't just come on here and just be angry, just be enraged. We got to find a way to, you know, formulate our message in some way that can turn into the medicine. If those of you are shamans out there and you're in the process of doing this, come work with your boy, whether it's the 5-week elemental course that we're doing, or something one-on-one, or retreating with me. We're doing this, okay? There's this global racial caste system right now that, you know, would collapse faster, without a doubt, would collapse even more harmoniously if Latinos, especially those who know they're indigenous in their heart, even if you externally look like you can lean towards, you know, whiteness, if you will, or choose it consciously because it gives you an easier path. This is something where we have to understand right now that although this marginalized caste system of racism or global racist caste system can collapse and deconstruct faster, we have to understand and accept that many won't. And that it's not that personal, it's not that simple. Many won't. Not until it costs them their privilege. And this is the key. Will many be willing to let go? Right now, many will stay unwilling, okay, to let go, because it will cost them their privilege. It will cost them the ease, the pay bumps, you know, they won't get the looks when you walk in the street, people looking through you like you don't exist, people pretending that, you know, your blood and your ancestry didn't build the land that they're standing on, the temples, the churches, okay, the monoliths, right? Like, until it costs their purpose. So you have to understand that. And this is why I look at this right now in this moment, me sharing this experience is one of the reasons why I have to accept that, you know, as an individual, my pain right now is sacred. I have to express that. I have to accept that. I have to, you know, pronounce that right now, because it's one of these things where, you know, I don't want to say like, oh, I'm the only one, quote unquote, ahead of the curve, because I don't believe that. But I have to accept that, like, as a teacher, as a leader, as a speaker, as a storyteller, there's a reason why God gifted me with this ability, with this foresight, with this voice, with the ability to string words together, okay? Because right now is this understanding that with the Saturn and Aries, I myself am awakening to how identity itself, as an Aries as well, is not just personal. It is political. It's not just personal. It is spiritual. It's not just personal. It is ancestral. So when I look at like, what can we do right now if you feel like you're struggling with this, you know, when it comes, especially if it comes to interracial relationships, if you're somebody within and involved in that, interracial connections, interracial friendships, interracial, you know, walks that you have to do within your workspace, okay? One, honor your grief. And that's why I feel like it's important for me right now, you know, honor my grief, like to just come on here and admit, to announce out loud, like to be clear about it myself, that it feels good. It felt good this morning to cry. It felt good this morning to cry twice, okay? Within 40-minute timeline, 40 minutes apart or so. It felt good to walk in the street and dance. And as I played music, I'm dancing to the street and I'm hearing stuff that was liberating me at the same time, right? Like to honor the grief, to sweat it out, like to go work. You know, I might need to go do some boxing a little later and start hitting that vibe. What's up, Plutonian Aquarius? What's up, Oya? Good to see y'all in here. Tacos, good to see y'all in here. To let it move through the body, you know, Mars and Leo wants to express this somehow, some way in your own individual fashion, right? Mars and Leo. This Mars square Uranus is a part of this, making this experience that I'm talking about right now very somatic, somatic in nature. You know, another thing I think we can do, this is heavy, y'all. This is heavy as hell, y'all. But I'm doing it. I'm doing the best I can right now. Let me take a sip of water. Bear with me. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button. Another thing I feel like we could do right now is to reclaim our voice, okay? To you know, for me right now, it's about speaking my truth in the moment, through ritual, through prayer, okay? Speaking my truth in the moment, you know, to my ancestors. Later, I feel like I need to give them an offering. I got some food with me right now. I have to put some food off to the side and save it with and share it with them. And, you know, give offerings to my guys, because I know deep within my heart that they're proud of me and I'm proud of myself, you know? And like you see it again, like, you know, today is just gonna have to be a day of tears. It's just gonna have to be that way. It's just gonna have to be that, and understand that I'm proud of myself to reclaim my voice. And I know so many that have died before me are proud. I know my ancestors, I know my guys, they're proud that I'm allowing this right now. I know they're proud. Got my whole body tingling right now, but I gotta just let it happen. Y'all got me out here in public. I'm busting tears out, my whole body, my face, my chest, everything is tingling. But it's just one of these moments where I look at it and it's like, what can we do now? And crying is one of the best things. Man, it hurts so good. It really does. Oh, it's tingling. This is. I feel like, you know, like I said, this is the somatic release right now with Mars square Uranus. This is Taurus. This is the nervous system. This is the tingling. My whole shit vibrating right now. Like, I can't. You know, the Mars and Leo, the romance. I look at it, it's just something where, again, you know, on a different day and a different time, when I process more, my wife process more, we're gonna have to re-invite my wife, you know, and realize that at the same time, it's not something where I need to wait for her, but to share the resources, okay, to show her why this matters, you know, from my voice, from my personal experience, because it's just the knowing, it's the understanding that, you know, the weight of this awakening, even within myself, I understand that it's not equally shared. We don't live the same experiences, but to invite that in, you know, how do we experience, how do we transmute this experience? How do we transmute what we're going through as a collective, and me right now, even as an individual? You know, part of it is to build Black-centered communities, right? Whether even here in Guadalajara, because they do exist, and to just to participate in them. You know, find those that are also walking this path. There are other Black Americans that I've seen dating Mexicans, and it's like, you know, build a community through that. You may be somebody different who needs to build community within a completely different nationality, different race. Find people who are walking the path with you, okay? Understand that you don't need to be the only one holding the light. You don't need to be the only one holding that flame. You don't need to be the only one holding that fire, okay? I need another sip of water. Damn, my whole body just froze. It was like, I need to blow nose. Give me a second. I got the animal medicines for y'all. Excuse this, because the mic might amplify this nose blow. Like I said, this is a somatic release with this. Get some emotional freedom tapping in the body, y'all. Do not allow this. Find your meridians, one at the top of the head, open the crown. The chest, another meridian line going across the chest. Do not allow this energy to stay in your body. The cheekbones, under the lips. Do this with me live. We here, we sharing the medicine, y'all. This is shamanism in action. We're not here to talk about it. We're here to do it. We're here to be it. We're here to live the experience. We're here to share it. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and the likes button. When I look at the animal medicines right now, this has been coming up a lot. It's not just the Jaguar, it's actually the Black Jaguar, which has a different understanding, connotation. It is about unseen power, okay? It is about ancestral justice. Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter square, Saturn and Aries, which is the sacred rage of the Black Jaguar, that it hones, it amplifies, it transmutes, and it knocks the head off the system itself. The Black Jaguar is one that walks alone through the shadows, through the dreams network, yet at the same time it radiates dignity. It radiates purpose. It says what it says with conviction, whether that's with tears and a tingling body through somatic release or not. The Black Jaguar animal medicine is here to help us to claim our place, okay, as the guardian of the unseen, to claim your place as the guardian of the forgotten, to claim your place as the guardian of everything holy and powerful and devout within you. And this is what it is. Claim it. You know, I reclaim my place as a guardian of everything devout, forgotten, holy, and unseen. And say that in the chat. Support the channel, share the video. And I look at this closing reflection, because I came out here, I had things to do today. But things weigh heavy on my mind. And so I speak. You know, the closing reflection right now is that you're not crazy. You know that. You've known it your whole life. You're not crazy. You're not crazy for feeling this. I'm looking at myself right now in the mirror, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not crazy for feeling this. I'm not crazy for speaking this. I'm not crazy for my nervous system having a complete relapse, reset, tinkle, breakdown, break up, shit, deconstructing, reconstructing. I'm not crazy for feeling this. You are not too sensitive. I speak to myself. I am not too sensitive, right? I am just the right amount of sensitive, tears and all. that you are not overreacting. I am not here to overreact. I'm not overreacting in the moment. This is real life. This is what it is. This is what it takes. Okay? The closing reflections right now is that you are awakening, but you are awakening in real time. Understand that. And the thing is, we are not just awakening, but we are more realistically remembering. And this is what shamans do. We remember that we are conscious creators. We remember that we have had this magic running through our blood, through our veins. And it's important to honor that, honor the grief, honor the ancestry, honor the pain, transmute it in real time. This is an awakening for the collective, however, about the deep systemic illusions, okay, when it comes to how it has kept them, has kept us as a people, as a collective, separate from others, has kept us silent by not hitting that thumbs up with 6 people watching, but only 3 thumbs up, keeping you silent, keeping us small, okay? I'm not here to play small, and if you're in this channel, you're not here to play small either, okay? Let Jupiter and Cancer expand your truth. Let Saturn and Aries refine your purpose, okay? Let Mars and Leo ignite your roar. But let that roar, like the Jaguar, be silent. Silent, but expressed through your purpose, whether that is to reveal energies through your art, whether that is through music, singing, song, dance, speaking on your channel. Let Uranus and Taurus break the chains, okay? Let the world and your immediate, as well as and especially your own internal environment, understand that I am the storm, you are the storm, that I am the medicine, you are the medicine, okay? That I am the ancestors and what they decided and needed me to become. I am becoming, okay? And if you want to work more powerfully with me over the next 5 weeks, I have a Father's Day special out there. And if you're a single mother, I extended this to single mothers who are playing the father role as well, all right? I literally dropped it by a third. I think a third. I chopped a third off the full price for Father's Day special because I feel like it's important to honor the men. And, you know, I don't think it's coincidence that me coming on here, I needed to have my whole nervous system, my whole body shake and collapse and deconstruct in front of you through tears, through ritual, through electricity, literally paralyzing me and rewriting my nerves, understanding that this is power, this is sovereignty, this is truth, this is purpose, this is justice in action. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. So I'm expanding this to all the fathers. I feel like men don't get enough appreciation. I truly believe this in my heart. I feel like, you know, we suffer in silence, we bleed in silence, we cry in silence. And, you know, it's not saying that it's necessary to do so in public. However, that you deserve to be appreciated as well. So I wanted to extend it specifically to men, and I feel like I know plenty of women who play that father role. So I extend this to you. I don't even have the link on this video because I did this impromptu, but you can find it everywhere. I try to put it up somewhere afterwards. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and the likes button. I'm gonna go figure out, I don't even know. I don't think I need to figure out anything. I'm just gonna go feel what the hell I'm feeling. This is the transmission. I love my men. I appreciate y'all. Ashe. Please hit the like button if this resonates. I appreciate y'all for supporting. Yes, this is what being is about. This is what it means to be beautiful. Goosebumps in the building. I see y'all comments. I'm reading them now. I'm going to share a song in a group called Living Ancestors. Do it. I'm going to need to sing today. I don't have to speak some light language today because, yeah, I know they need me to speak the light language. Pernell, your display of vulnerability is real. Show of strength. Mars and Leo, you got it. I appreciate you. All that. My daughters helped me with this awareness. That's amazing. That's what I want to hear because it's about the youth. Even from those from the community, the West Indian community, born in the Trinidad. Yeah. You them. I can feel it. I feel it. To be what we seem so taboo sometimes outside the social construct. To be what we are seems so taboo. Absolutely. Like it's not safe to be black. And it is 1,000%. Black is sexy. Black should be safe. Black is safe. I know it doesn't always feel that way, and I'm one that feels the same. Like I don't always feel like it's safe to be black. I won't lie to you, but I know at a deeper level that I'm always protected. I literally call myself New Black. Yes, Resonating in the comments of this conversation. Good. Identify as white even if it feels necessary in a West Indian mindset. Thank y'all for hitting the thumbs up and the likes button. I took the time to read those comments. Thank y'all for sharing space with me, for being a container for me today, because sometimes I don't always feel supported, if I'm being honest. You know, sometimes I feel like I get so into giving out the medicine that, you know, I myself at times, I also need support, you know, and today you were that support for me. I appreciate y'all for being a container. Like I really needed it, you know. I live in Mexico. I've lived in Thailand. I've lived almost in Germany, spent time there. I've lived in so many countries, in Colombia. And the thing is, like, I'm always the one black man. And this is a reality that I've learned to accept, because at the end of the day, I like what I like. I feel comfortable where I feel comfortable. I enjoy what I enjoy. I do enjoy Latino culture. And so this is no knock against anybody in the Latino culture. Like, I don't imagine it's simple for you to give up your privilege. So that's not my mission to say give it up. But I don't expect you either to go against what you are, to go against your indigenous roots either. And so what is that middle ground? How do we find that space? How do you use your white privilege to support both sides? The whole generational cast. This is a good question. I don't know. I don't have these answers, you know, all the way. But what I do know is I'm here, I'm living it, I'm experiencing it live. That I don't turn my back on you. I don't expect you to turn your back on me. And as we stand together, I remind you right now that English and Spanish are like 90% of the world's language. And if those Latinos ever, you are the Western culture. You look at it, you are literally the Western society. Think about it, okay? Central America is Spanish, Latino. Mexico is Spanish, Latino. All of South America is Spanish, Latino. Colombia, Venezuela, except for Guyana, they're oddball out. Except for Brazil, they're still Latino in a way, Portuguese, I get it, but they still represent the Afro-Latino communities, right? Argentina may be the one all ball out, like, yeah, a little different, but you still represent the Latinos. My point of saying this is the Western society. So if the Latinos decided to stand in sovereignty with your indigenous counterparts, not just in love, not just in community, not just in policy, not just in spirit, not just emotionally, but in entirety. You represent the Western culture. You represent the Western society. If you stood with us, for example, as black people, if the Chinese decided to stand with us, because you were also a minority, okay? If you decided to stand with us, if all of us stood together, guess what? On this Western hemisphere, on this Western side of the world, we snap the neck of the dragon who terrorizes and oppresses. We control that dragon like we do now and like we already are, but we are controlling it against ourselves. This is something that at any point we decided to realize the numbers don't lie. And this false illusion that we are separated, revealing very clearly within the poison, the antidote, the truth. That at any point we decided to decide not to choose horizontal oppression by siding with our white privilege. Notice even I, as a black man, clear as day, say white privilege, our white privilege. We snap the system. Let's be real. We'll break that thing sideways. We bend that thing over and blow its back out. Con placer. In Espanol, or in English, with pleasure. So, I see it, black is everything that it comes from. Yes, you know, the black blood built the country, built these countries, right? The primordial blackness, absolutely. We literally owe our black power, black. I'm enjoying saying black today. Black, rise, my black, rise, everything black, rise. God damn it. My black brethren and sisters, full support. Yes, man, we deserve a rest. We deserve a rest too. So I'm asking the Latinos, if you're watching this and you're on this channel, I'm asking you very clearly, I'm asking you very kindly, I'm asking you very compassionately. Rise with me, stand with us, stand with yourself. Stand with your own indigenous roots. Remember, you were all conquered. You were turned white. Like goddamn vampires, yo. You were shifted to white. You didn't start this way, god damn it. Remember this. Damn, yo, you were raped. Realize this. You were raped, you were ostracized. You were transformed into what your white privilege affords you. Don't forget that. God damn. It just made me so angry. It makes me angry that you were raped. But it's the truth at the same time. Don't forget that. Okay? Honor your own grief. When we take the time to honor our grief, this is what is so important. Then we can accept that. We can embrace that. I'm hungry, y'all. Take a moment and pray with me, yo. I got a black man eating burritos. I made my own homemade burrito. Pray with me, y'all. All right, I'm going to say this collective prayer and I'm going to get out of here because I like to eat in peace. I'm going to say this prayer for all of us listening. I take the moment right now in this environment, in this community, in this transmission, in this circle, to remember compassion, to express love and truth, to understand that truth today is me speaking up. Truth today is me sharing and honoring this moment together, is honoring this grief, is honoring these tears that I drip in foreign lands to my own native people. Allow these tears to represent the freedom, the liberation, the sovereignty within everyone listening. Allow these tears to collectively spread. Allow this message to bless our hearts, to remind us to forgive all the atrocities that occurred, to forgive all the ways I've ignored, to forgive all the silence and the neutrality that I have taken, to respect the walk, to choose a direction, to choose a path, one full of purpose, one full of justice, one full of truth. I pray over everybody's hearts. I pray over everybody's mind. I pray over everybody's spirit. Wake up. Remember your power, your brilliance, your magic, your gift to the world. I pray over you. Love. Thank you, y'all. I'm gonna eat this burrito. Y'all see this fat, chunky tang? I made this homemade. I can't even show you what's in there because I like to eat. I like to eat in peace and silence. And so I thank y'all for being here. Remember, we got the Father's Day special, y'all. We got the 5 weeks. Who's out there? I got the one-on-one shaman retreat. If you want to come do the real work, there ain't no more real work than coming with me in one-on-one and retreat. I promise you that. You could do this as well online with the one-on-one mentorship. You can obviously book any one-on-one readings with me, but other than that, you can join the Shaman's Roundtable. We have a membership, it's $33 a month. We do this, we do the breath work, we do the somatic releases, we do the flute cleansings and healings, the sound frequencies on a regular basis. We meet again this Sunday. On June 15th, this Sunday, we meet 10 a.m. my time in Mexico, so you can join that Shaman's Roundtable. Anyone who has ever booked into a service and you're not in the Shaman Sanctuary, send me an email and I can send you the direct link so you can join that. That's a free group, the Shaman Sanctuary, and plenty of those, and y'all are in this group as well, and that's where we're communing. I'm doing the best I can to shape that energy and community in a mindful direction. Thank y'all for sharing this space in this container with me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all soon.